All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Experience Bike YouTube channel. For this episode, I'll talk about my repair kit, more of like my backcountry repair kit, which is going to be for multi-day trips, longer bikepacking races. So I've raced the Steens Mazama in Oregon, the Smoke and Fire 400 in Idaho, Utah Mixed Epic in Utah, the BC Epic 1000 in British Columbia. I've done the Big Lonely in Bend, Oregon, and a couple ITT attempts on the Oregon Outback, which both were quite difficult. I struggled for those. I did bring a GoPro along for one of them, so I'll be kind of sharing insights into how that one went.
This really sucks.
And then most recently, the Odyssey of the VOG. I time trialed it with Ben Handrich. So I'm just gonna go over what I've figured out has worked for me for a more complete backcountry repair kit. Yeah, let's get into it. So starting off, as you can see, I have recently gone bikepacking this past weekend with Ben in the Tillamook National Forest. It got kind of muddy, and we went through a good amount of snow. We had 3 river stream crossings that were not planned, but it was kind of fun. And so yeah, we got muddy. First piece of kit that I use is a pump. Obviously, this is a Mammoth Blackburn. The thing I love about this is for higher volume tires, like I run 50Cs, 29-inch by 50C. This inflates them very, very quickly because it's a big pump. I'm pretty sick of using those really small, minuscule pumps to save weight or save space. I just pop this on the side of my frame, and so I don't have to worry about saving space. And it's never failed me. I bought it at a garage sale for $10, and still using it like 2 or 3 years later. You can kind of see, but typically I'll have Gorilla Tape wrapped around it along with electrical tape. They can be useful for various situations. So for example, electrical tape can be used to boot the inside of your tire if you get a sidewall slash. And obviously I've used them, so I gotta replenish this. I gotta clean it, and then I gotta replenish it. All right, so that's that. Then spare tires, spare tubes. I also include this little Velcro strap, which I got at REI. It's a nice little bonus. Not only can I compress these a little bit better, I just put them in the back of my seat bag, so they just sit there. But yeah, I typically carry 2 for events, maybe like 350 miles or longer. Under that, I'll carry 1. And yeah, the Velcro strap comes in handy if you need it. If, say, like a strap on one of your bags broke, then you can use that. I've also used these Velcro straps to strap a water bottle to my Aero Bar pads, the arm pads, just to carry a spare water bottle. That was in Utah when it was like 110 degrees or something during the day, and I needed to carry more water. So yeah, spare tubes. Now for my like primary standard repair kit, I use this guy, the Apidura top tube bag. This is the smaller version. I think it's 0.8 liters, and they have a 1 liter one. This is the smaller one. So for this, I carry most of the standard stuff I'll use, or that I'll need. So that would be tire levers. These ones are nice. These are from Granite. I bought them on Amazon. Kind of similar to the wolf tooth plier setup, where they carry an extra chain link and then they have the ability to function as a chain link breaker. All right, I'll find that later. I've got to remember that I dropped that. All right, so that's for that. This is an MSR scraper. You know, mostly for dish duty, but I've used this for 2 years now. Yeah, about 2 years. And look at this, like, it's in pretty good condition. The brush is really solid. This is primarily for my chain. When it gets really dirty and dusty, it's awesome to have this available and just, you know, clean it off, and then use some lube. Speaking of, that's one thing that I need to include in here, which I typically have, but I forgot to bring it. So I have a little 2-ounce thing of lube that I either stick in my saddlebag, or I actually have it attached to the thing that holds, you know, the pump, for easy access. So I always have lube with me. And then 2 Park Tool tire boots, just in case you get a sidewall slash. These come in pretty handy. CO2 cartridge and cartridge head. I run tubeless for my bike packing setup, and this is what I utilize as a last ditch effort if you know, if I lose my tubeless and I need to reseal it or I need to reset it, I'll do this, because for me the last case resort is going to tubes. I want to keep my tubeless setup as long as possible, so I have 1 cartridge, typically just 1 cartridge. I don't want to carry too many. I may, for races longer than 350 miles, I may carry 2, but yeah, right now I've got 1. This one's 16 grams, typically I have 20 grams, but that's all I've got with me right now. And then a mishmash of what are they called? Patches. Mishmash of like patches. I've got the Park Tool rubber cement. These are kind of like just like the Vulcan patches where you've got to use the glue, put them on. They're a lot more resilient than the glueless patches. I do have some of those elsewhere. And then also, if you can see it, a little tube of Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Super Glue. That's come in handy for me because sometimes I've had punctures in my tire that have not sealed, and so I've been able to use that super glue on the outside to help the sealant from the inside seal while I'm gluing the outside. Also, if you get tiny like glass shards or little, you know, little things in your tire that you're able to pull out with pliers, then that goes on to the next thing. Then the super glue is a great way to kind of, you know, just reseal that little cut so something doesn't get in there and dig a little deeper. So super glue, pretty useful. I just carry 1 tube, one of those small tubes. This is a Leatherman Squirt. No, just kidding. Leatherman Juice C2. It's pretty old. I'm not sure if this is sold anymore by Leatherman. The Squirt PS4 might be the new model, but it's great. The pliers are super handy if you need to get anything out of the tire that's caused a puncture. You've got a screwdriver. You've got flathead. One thing that has also come in very handy for me are these little things, because those can be used to dig out glass shards that the pliers otherwise can't grab from your tire. In addition, a cable cutter. I'm running mechanical disc brakes, and I don't have electronic shifting, so I have spare cables, and if I need to cut them, then I've got a cable cutter there. All right. Now we've got the Lysine tubeless repair kit. So this just comes with the tire seals, the little gummy thingies, and the tool to pop them in, to plug them in. I've used it once. It's worked great. Again, priority number one is to be able to reseal your tubeless setup before moving on to tubes, especially when you're off-road, in the backcountry, that type of stuff. In terms of my tool, I've got the Crank Bros, let's see, M17. Yeah, this thing's great. I've used this for about 3 years. The one annoying thing is the chain tool. It just kind of flops around and gets in the way. It is pretty small too. So getting these Allen wrenches in certain places can be pretty tricky. Before you go out on a trip, you always want to make sure that the tool you're carrying, you're able to like get to those bolts that that may have issues. So for example, like your stem clamps, if your handlebars get loose. My aero bars, sometimes my aero bars will get loose and I'll use these. Yeah, so check your Allen wrenches, your Allen keys, the little screwdrivers, the hexes. Make sure that you can actually get to the spots you need to with your tools. And that is it for my little top tube. So again, like I said, that's all kind of the standard stuff that I carry. That'll be pretty much, I keep this on my bike at all times, so that's kind of my my daily ride repair kit too. It's still pretty hefty, but yeah, I don't know. I just I prefer to have stuff that a little bit more than maybe necessary, just in case. Today's drink of the day is the Polar Ginger Lime Mule. It's pretty good. All right, let's see. Now, this is the more kind of like emergency focused repair stuff, which I necessarily won't always need, but this is the, like the in case shit happens repair kit. This goes in my down tube. You can see it's just one of those little waterproof toolkits. Again, super muddy because of the trip recently. I should have cleaned this off because I'm getting dirt all over the place, but whatever. But yeah, I keep this in my down tube. Keeps the weight low, center of gravity low. It's not taking up space anywhere else, like in my saddlebag. So I've really enjoyed this. It stayed put really well. I forget what cages I used. They're just like Blackburn aluminum or alloy cages, and they work great. I've never had an issue losing this. Let's open it away from the table so I don't get dirt everywhere. All right. Like I said before, I keep the glueless patches here. It's got a little screw top thing to store them. So I just keep them there because I typically don't use them. But if I do need backup patches, then there they are. All of my stuff within this, I keep in a sock for 2 reasons. It prevents rattling, and then the sock can act as a rag if I really need to clean my chain. Sometimes it gets stuck. All right, there's all my stuff. Now before I dive into that, the other items I have are, like I mentioned, cables. derailleur cable, brake cable. Spares just in case. Last thing you want to deal with is not having shifting, not having braking. And then this is a sewing kit. So it is, the needle in here is a curved upholstery needle. I just bought this kit from Amazon. So it's a lot easier for it to be curved, obviously, for, just seal the tire. This is if I have a sidewall slash, I can sew it up. This is some pretty heavy duty, I guess, upholstery thread. Some people use dental floss. That's an option as well. But I just wanted to go with something that I know is a little bit more heavy duty. In addition, I mentioned the Gorilla Glue before. Gorilla Glue also works great if you have to seal a sidewall tear. Then you can kind of, you can sew it up and then run over that sewing with Gorilla Glue to just do a little bit extra seal. All right, let's get into the sock. I'm just gonna dump stuff out real quick, so give me a moment. Like I mentioned, typically I'll have a spare thing of lube, which I don't have at the moment, but along with that, I've got a spare 2 ounces of sealant. Again, keep that tubeless setup as long as possible. So I use sealant if I've had a puncture and it's been draining my sealant, pop in the sealant, and then try to reset the bead on the tire with the cartridge. Next thing is this complete mess of a bag, which I need to replace. Spare brake pads, and then spare chain links, and then some spare bolts. So like a spare stem bolt. If you have a crank that takes bolts, some spare bolts for that. Just anything where any like general backups that would be highly valuable in a worst case scenario. Because if you have a chain ring that takes 4 bolts and you lose one of them, that's not ideal, especially if you're, in the middle of nowhere and you've got like 200 miles to the next service station or something like that. So yeah, figure out what bolts work best for you. Throw them in there, get some spare brake pads because you're always gonna need spare brake pads if you're gonna be out for a while, and a little extra chain link, just in case. Fiber grip. This is for my carbon fiber parts. I've got a carbon fiber seat post, whiskey. My frame's carbon fiber. So this just kind of, helps keep the seat post secure without having to over tighten it, because this has a little bit of grit. So some nice texture just to add some friction. So yeah, I use, I think, 4 nanometers, a little torque wrench key to tighten the seat post, but I always use this because that's going to help secure it a lot more. And then obviously just having it long term, or in my kit for any potential needs. Spare derailleur hanger. You do not want to have to deal with a bent derailleur hanger in the middle of nowhere. Bad shifting, no shifting, not ideal. So spare derailleur hanger. This is gosh, I forget what they're called. Let's see. Oh my goodness. I'm pulling it all out. It is Fiber Fix. All right, yeah. It's a Fiber Fix spoke, and it comes with instructions. This has already saved me. I had a broken spoke, and I was maybe like 10 miles away from the nearest gas station, and I was just like, I'll just keep riding because it's not too far. It's only 1 spoke. It was on a wheel set of 36 spokes, and it was getting as I was riding, the wheel was getting significantly more and more out of true. It was getting really wobbly. So I decided to throw on this. I had it available with me, and it was amazing. Like really, really pretty easy to install. And you know, you can reuse it. So definitely recommend having one in your kit. This way you don't have to worry about having different size, different types of spokes for like driver side, non-drive side, that type of stuff. You've already got this, always got this available. And yeah, pretty simple to use, pretty minimal. So fiber fix spoke, highly recommended. And now we've got an Allen key. This is a Torx wrench, or a Torx key. I forget what it is, T5, T25. So the reason I have this is because this gets to my stem bolts, and because I have arrow bars on, I cannot reach them with this, like I mentioned. So this is a tool I need to be able to make those adjustments. It's unfortunate to have duplicates, but better than not. And yeah, I'm just making sure I've got everything. That's it. That's my more intense backcountry bikepacking setup for all of the issues I may come across. Hopefully all of them. It's a good amount of stuff, but it has saved me multiple times, and hopefully this helped provide some information to you for your repair kit. It's gonna vary, you know, based on preferences, based on the type of gear that you have, the type of bike that you have, the shifting system, all that stuff. So, you know, take this all with a grain of salt. Gives you a general idea, and then refine it to what works best for you. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Please give it a like and help the algorithm help get this video spread, and subscribe to the channel if you're interested in this information. If you have any questions, feel free to, you know, make a comment. I'll take a look and respond. If you have any suggestions in terms of videos that you'd like moving forward, you know, informational, educational, that type of stuff, then again, yeah, feel free to throw that in the comments. I really want to use this channel as a way to provide more information within the, you know, the bikepacking world. I was really grateful for, when I got into bikepacking, for all the YouTube channels and the blogs and the informational stuff that was out there. So I just thought this channel would be, I'd use this channel as a way to you know, provide more to the community, and also provide some entertainment with the like short films and documentaries that I'm working on. All right, thanks. Have an awesome day.